So I see a note that we're now live, and of course, this is the first meeting of the year for the committee. So the first item of business is the election of the officers. So I'm just looking for a nomination for the chair.
I will nominate that Neil Allen remain as chair of the association. If I can get a seconder.
Is there a seconder for that?
I'll second that.
And are there any other nominations? So seeing none, could I just get somebody to move that nominations be closed?
I'll move.
And could I get a seconder for that?
Also move.
Perfect. And then I just need somebody to make a nomination for the vice chair.
I'll make a motion to Kurt Halliday be vice chair, if you'll accept it.
And is there a seconder for that?
I'll second it. Or can I?
Yes, absolutely you can. And are there any other nominations?
Is there a
Hi,
job
Jeanette.
description? Sorry.
Kurt, I'm sorry, what was that, Kurt?
Is there a job description I can look at?
I can help you through it for sure. So I just need a mover and a seconder to close the nominations.
As I
will.
move it or second it.
Sorry, I have Councillor McDonald moving it, and who was seconding it?
I will. David?
Oh, sorry, David. Okay, so Neil, I just have to confirm, are you willing to stand as chair?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Kurt, are you willing to stand as vice chair?
Okay.
Perfect. So Neil, I'll turn the meeting over to you now.
All right. So has the meeting been called to order then, or was that?
It has,
prior?
yes. So
Okay.
it has. So we're just on the adoption of the agenda.
All right then. So okay, point 3 then, adoption of the agenda, that the agenda for January the 11th meeting be approved. Can I get a motion for that?
So moved.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
All right, and all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, point 4, disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof. I don't believe there's anything for that. 5, adoption of the minutes from the October 27th meeting. Was there any changes or corrections that needed to be made to that?
I'll move the motion to adopt the minutes as presented, Mr. Chair.
All right, great. All right. Do I need a second?
Seconder.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, and then
I can second that.
okay, and then all in favor. Point 6, deputations, presentations. I don't believe that there are any.
No.
All right, and then point 7, the reports to the Accessibility Advisory Committee. Did you say that you had something in regards to that, Jeanette?
So there is a recommendation on the floor for that report. We are required under the AODA to have an annual status report every year. So each January, this usually comes before the committee. And it really is just a recap of where we stand at the county. It is to include the townships as well, but most of this is county initiated items simply because I'm not aware of what happens at the townships. There are a few things on there that were covered through the townships. And again, these are things that the committee has seen through the years. So it's required under the AODA. It includes everything that needs to be included. And then it's just, again, a recap of our accomplishments through the year. But I would note to the committee as well at the very end of the status report is what we can look at moving forward in 2022. So some of the key things there are the KMP Trail as the county continues to move that trail northward into North Frontenac. So we will ensure that it meets the accessibility requirements, and that will be coming as well to the committee for public input. And then the other thing as well, under things that are coming forward next year would be as well is the care and use of trails bylaw. So council will have that on its agenda in the next week as well, for staff to start developing this. It really is how we can use the trail. It may include user fees, but it's going to ensure that there are no barriers that are on the trail. So for example, we want to make sure that people are using the trail properly, that they're not creating a barrier. So that will have the committee's input as well. So that's something else that the committee will see coming forward next year as well. And then lastly is the redesign and redevelopment of the county administration building. So we're hoping that the RFP goes out sometime in the spring, with construction to perhaps start in the fall. So that again will be in front of the AAC to ensure that we're meeting compliance there as well. So I'm not sure if there's any questions from the committee or if I've missed anything.
Madam, through you, Mr. Chair, Bill here, I would report that for those of us who actually drive along the trail going north, a lot of the barrier guardrails or whatever you want to call them have been installed on the K&P all the way south of Verona, actually, and up pretty well to Charlotte Lake. So progress has been made on that front for sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I just traveled the area between Charlotte Lake and Clarendon, Mr. Chair, and the guardrails are placed there as well. The same as Bill was referring to south of Charlotte Lake.
That's excellent.
And that perhaps can be noted as well because of the grant that the county did receive this year. It received the 2/3 funding grant for accessibility upgrades to the trail. So that included guardrails. I believe it included benches along the trail, which I'm not sure have been done yet. They may be waiting until spring. And then as well as the gates, which were actually, as Richard noted in previous reports to the committee, that the gates themselves were meant to keep ATVs and motorized vehicles off the trail, but they were actually creating barriers to persons who may be using a mobility aid to get on the trail. So they've come up with some specific criteria there as well to remove that barrier.
And if I might also, Mr. Chair, is that if you'll notice coming up is that all of the parking lots that were planned along the K&P are now up, and I see a lot of people actually using it. So people with disabilities don't have to travel too far to get on the K&Ps. But White Lake and again, basically there were 2 of them installed, and and at Bell Rock, that one was completed also. So it looks good. Thank you.
Yeah. I see the one at Bell Rock gets a lot of use for sure. I go by there regularly. That's good to see. Okay. Thanks, Janet. Janet,
So-
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, so there is a recommendation with that report for more so to receive the report, but to have it posted on our website as required, and as well to forward to our lower tiers as they're required to have it on the website as well. And they're of course more than welcome to update it with their own achievements if there's any that we've missed here.
So that's the status report or the compliance report?
The status report.
Okay.
So there's a recommendation there, be it resolved that the Frontenac Accessibility Advisory Committee Annual Accessibility Status Report be received, and that in accordance with Ontario Regulation 91-11, the Integrated Accessibility Standards Section 4.3, that a copy of the Annual Accessibility Status Report be posted to the County of Frontenac website, and further that in accordance with Ontario Regulation 91-11, that a copy of the annual status report be forwarded to the Frontenac lower tiers for posting on their respective websites.
Could I ask a brief question?
For sure.
It's great. Is there any other public notice or public promotion of the the availability of that report? For instance, a little piece in the newspaper?
We don't typically advertise it in the newspaper, but we do put it on our social media sites. So
Okay.
Facebook, we do have social media sites that we do advertise all of our things on.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
And through you, Mr. Chair, if I might, Kurt, anyone looking at getting a report, especially county council, you will see that the various websites that the county has is being looked at in the thousands on a monthly basis. So I think the reports that we put on there will certainly go forward, and a lot of people will have opportunity to actually look at it. If you go to a
good.
county council report, you can actually see the stats of the number of people who are actually contacting Frontenac County. So it is a good outlet. Thank you,
Good.
Mr. Chair.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Jeanette, if I may, Mr. Chair, do you need a motion for this action to actually take place, or showing up in
Yes.
a minute? We good
Yes,
enough?
we do. We need a mover, a seconder for the motion.
Yeah, I'll move that motion that be forwarded
I'll
on
second
the
it.
note here.
I'll second it, Jeanette.
Perfect. Thank you, David.
Right.
So Chair Allen, you just need to call the question on that motion.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes,
Right. Excellent. Thanks for keeping me on track. So then, Jen, did you have something in regards to the compliance report then as well?
I really don't have anything to add to this other than what's in the report. As noted, 2021 was a reporting year for all public sector entities. So all of the townships would have as well had to do a compliance report. And it's just to let the committee know that we were in compliance with all aspects of the report. I've noted in the report there the specific questions that were asked, as well as, so we were in compliance, but I just added a little bit more information in terms of the types of questions that are asked and the policies that the county and the townships have in place in terms of how we met those requirements. So really, it's just an information report to show that the committee, and the same report will be going to county council as well, to show council and the committee that we are in compliance this year.
Great. Were there on point 8 then, were there any updates in regards to the townships at this time?
Mr. Chairman, Eric Rahone, North Frontenac, I'll provide an update for North Frontenac. I will be turning off my video. I'm starting to go choppy. North Frontenac submitted its compliance report as required to the AODA. We have received a response and we are being desk audited for documents only. At this time, similar to the county, we've removed all non-compliant PDF formats and documents from our website and are currently remediating those documents to have them returned. That's all I have to report at this time.
Thank you.
for you, Mr. Chair, it's Donna from Central Frontenac. And just like North Frontenac, we have also been up for audit and we are reviewing all documents currently.
All right.
Hi, this is Jillian from South Frontenac. We had our audit last year. We did a desk audit as well. And after some review and some editing of various documents, we were deemed compliant. So that was done mid-year last year.
All right, thank you. Okay, point 8 on here, communications. I don't think that there are any at this time. Other business. I don't think there's anything in there as well, unless somebody has something to add.
Could I actually say something?
Yeah, Kurt.
I've been looking at all the work that Jeanette and company have been doing. And could I suggest that the committee thank the support staff for all of their fine work? That's all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot that goes on that we don't,
Yeah,
that just doesn't get recognized
yeah.
sometimes. So
We, the public, need
absolutely,
to thank the staff. Yeah.
for sure. Absolutely.
If that's a form of a motion, Kurt, I will certainly second it and support it on a vote.
Okay.
Excellent.
It's a motion then.
An emotion. Oh, excellent. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Did we want to set up a time for our next meeting then? If that's everything for today.
So typically the committee meets every 3 months quarterly. Did I make that right? So January, February, March, April. So our next meeting would fall in April. The committee typically meets on a Tuesday, but I know everyone's schedules have changed with COVID and everything else. So does Tuesday still work for everybody? And do people prefer morning or afternoon? We could potentially be back to in-person by April. Not too sure, but there's always that aspect as well. So
Morning or afternoon.
Tuesdays, I usually have visions, but whatever, someone else can always take you if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Is afternoon sort of inconvenient for most people? I'm assuming it's probably more convenient when it's on a Zoom call, but in person, is that a little bit more difficult for people in the afternoon?
I would prefer the mornings if we can do it.
Yes.
Okay.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do here, Mr. Chair? Or Jeanette or whatever? Are we going to make this meeting? Are we going to pick a date here, or are we going to make it at the call of the chair so that 3 months from now, will conditions change?
we can anticipate that when the meetings are set ahead of time, it allows me to put them up on our civic web portal so that it gives ample public notice of when our next meeting is. So sometimes when we leave it to the last minute, it doesn't give a whole lot of public notice, but we can certainly leave it at the call of the chair, and I can work with the chair perhaps in early March to come up with a date for April, if that works for everybody.
Well, what was the date in April, though?
There was no date in April, so the committee typically meets quarterly. So January, April, July, and September. It's typically in the past met on the first Tuesday of the month, but sometimes that doesn't always work. So does the committee want to set a regular meeting schedule, like the first Tuesday, the second Tuesday, the third Tuesday of the month, or would you prefer to wait until we're closer to the date to see what everyone's schedule is?
If you're referring to me, I'll put it in my calendar for the 5th of April. That's the first Tuesday. And then if we can, if we're going to meet in person, I would prefer to do it in the morning.
Okay. That works for me.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to be optimistic and say we're going to do it on Tuesday morning, April 5th.
Yes. I think it'll be a bit warmer by then.
And we were meeting at 10 o'clock, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Then that will work with me. And we were meeting in the Sydenham Township Hall.
We were, simply because that's sort of the halfway point for all members to make it a little bit easier. The last previous times we have met at the county offices simply because the Sydenham Hall was not available. So I'm going to maybe ask Jillian. Jillian, our Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock, is the council chamber there typically booked, or are we good to go?
That I'm not sure, Jeanette. I can look into that and let you know.
Okay.
I would have to ask. I'd have to ask our receptionist who does the bookings. I don't know offhand, but if we're given enough notice, we can typically book it. So that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, so we can follow up with that. If it's not available, we can bring it back to the county.
Sorry, that was April. What was that date?
April the 5th.
The 5th,
5th.
okay. Okay.
At 10.
Jeanette, I can find that out after this call and reach out to you and let you know.
Okay, and then the other thing, maybe Jillian, if I could just pick your brain on this one, what is the capacity of the Frontenac, of the council chamber there to allow for physical distancing?
I think, how many of us is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We would be fine because our council is 9 members plus a few staff members. So we would be, I think.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So the 5th it is then. Just get a motion to adjourn the meeting then. Kurt?
I'll move,
And,
yeah.
All right, move. And then a second.
I'll do it.
Okay, Bill?
No,
okay, and
David.
David?
Seconded it.
Dave, okay, hey, David.
There's
All
no
right,
seconder on an adjournment, I believe.
Is there not? Okay, that's my bad,
Robert's
sorry.
rules. No,
Robert, okay. All right, so is there a motion? All right. All right, I guess we're good then until the 5th.
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you everybody for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye for now, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay warm.
Cheers, stay safe.